How's it gone so far? All right, we are the Vinyl Scratch Tapes live. We got a lot of awesome stuff planned for you guys, including some special stuff that was written just for you guys, just for Brony fans.
Hey, go stop!
Another thing that was written just for you guys.
That's two things!
Yeah. Before we get into all that, we're going to talk a little bit about the project. So for people of you that don't know what the project is, the Vinyl Scratch Tapes is a wonderful written by the extremely talented Corey W. Williams. If you haven't read it yet, please go do so. That's what the project is based off of. We got this all started last summer, actually. We actually just celebrated our 1 year anniversary last week of meeting each other. So 1 year anniversary of friendship, which we're all so stoked to finally meet each other. Some of us are meeting just for the first time, and we're really excited about that. But to talk about the project's about Octavia and Vinyl Scratch and their awesome radio show at K Gold. But I'll go ahead and start introducing the voice actors we've got up here. We'll go ahead and start all the way on the right, and then we'll bring it on over. So first off to the right, we've got, you know him from Celestial Radio, the Bearded Jesus. DJ
I really like your beard. Yeah.
Does your beard give good luck?
Yes.
Will it keep me alive
Events
forever?
will be available for beer rubbings.
Is it made of hair or adamantium?
I do the narrator.
Sweetie Belle likes your beard.
And then next.
Next up, we've got
He likes your face, man.
Din.
Hi.
Hi.
Everybody calls me Din because otherwise I'd sound like an asshole.
And what role do you play, Din?
I play Prince Blue Blood in the Vinyl Scratch.
Give him a chance. Your video here.
Next in line, we've got the amazingly talented and super bubbly fun Anna Kay. Role in this series, not really, just more like a background character. She's Vinyl Scratch!
Swag!
Whoops.
Do you actually
And nobody can forget her beautiful, lovely assistant, Octavia, played by Mickey Spence!
I just heard hot. I was just like, what?
You heard it right!
How's Ray doing?
All right, and then right here to my right, I've got Dora, who, or better known as the Robot Butterfly, who plays a million different characters for the Vinyl Scratch Tapes, most notably Spitfire and Beauty Glass.
We're all gay for you.
Please be Trixie.
Ira has never seen this many humans in one place before.
Yes!
Alright, well, since we're running really quick on time, we're just going to go ahead and go straight into our first project. And this will be a great catch-up for people who haven't been able to see the project yet. It's going to be the entire first season, all in one go. Oh, and it's a bridge, so it'll be like that. Alright, so we're going to get started.
The Vinyl Scratch Tapes, the abridged series. My Little Pony Kai.
Okay.
Hey, don't ever
Just to make sure everyone can hear me alive, all right.
Let's all throw up the blue one count.
I'm silly pony. I completely forgot about the two other members of our team here. I'm silly.
Silly Philly.
Definitely, I want to give a huge thanks over to Kickoff, who's going to be running the music and the sound. voice actor for us. You might remember him from the first episode. He was the guy that was savagely beaten by Uncle Brony.
Good looks.
But Q-Com has been a great help, and we're so happy to have him here. So yeah, give him more hand. See in the crowd recording this for us, and hopefully you'll be able to see that recording later. We've got our gopher, John Doerr's brother. John Doerr's brother. Yeah, so he's our gopher. He's a great guy. Yeah, and so that's. All right.
Let's do this. The Vinyl Scratch Tapes, the Abridged series. What follows is an abridged version of the first season of the Vinyl Scratch Tapes. So there's this pony. Her name is Vinyl Scratch, or DJ Pony, whatever.
Hi!
And they invent, and they invent something called radio. It's just like radio in real life, except it's magic and there's ponies. Just go with it. So Vinyl Scratch is a DJ, so she's like,
Hells yeah, time to capitalize on this.
so she has this first rock radio station, and she starts up this talk show called the Vinyl Scratch because she has kind of a big ego.
Hey, that's not very nice.
Yeah, but it's true. But she needs a co-host to help her. Since it's a rock station, for some reason she gets a co-host named Octavia, who's a classical musician and knows nothing about rock and roll. The reasons for this aren't really made clear, but it isn't. It's halfway implied that Vinyl just picked some pony at random and kept Octavia around because they had nice banter, and Octavia was like,
I have no idea why I'm here. I'll take this job anyway. Nice. Hey, you're hot. Sorry. I'm sure you'll be a good addition to the team because you're hot stuff. You're insane.
That's pretty much the gist of the relationship for a while. So she interviews Princess Celestia. She's like the sun god, except she's a princess, I guess, and a pony, and a unicorn, and a pegasus, or all those good things. Like unicorns, but magical. She once sent her sister to the moon because she was evil, but then her sister turned good again because she was laser beamed with a rainbow. 6 other ponies who could have power over gods because of friendship, but that's a whole other story. So, anywho, Vinyl has the princess on and is like,
hey, remember that time you put your sister in space? Not cool, bro. Stop telling the princess that stuff, Vinyl. I'd rather not die. No, I have to do this because of justice and ratings.
But Celestia thinks Vinyl kind of has a point, so she lets that one go without resorting to extraterrestrial exile yet again. Meanwhile, the princess is listening to this on the radio. The prince is listening to this on the radio, and he's like,
Hey! That's my auntie! She can send any pony to space she feels like! That's what it means to be royalty! No pony talks to my auntie that way!
You don't really find out how he feels that way until later, so try to act surprised when he actually gets to that part.
Hey, I had more stuff to say. I'm sick of being treated.
Shut up, Blue Blood. Anyway, back to important characters. Octavia thinks Vinyl is under the mistaken impression that Vinyl is a complete jerk, simply because she acts like a complete jerk. A simple mistake to make, really. So then Vinyl interviews her best friend as a kid, Spitfire.
Hi, I'm Spitfire. I used to be an accessory to Vinyl's rampant petty crimes as a child. You're a terrible grandma. Hey, being a criminal and a musician just makes you more popular. You should try it sometime. You and I need to do some crimes.
This line of dialogue did not actually occur. If it did, there probably would have been a plot about Vinyl and Octavia doing crimes. Crap, why didn't the writers think of that earlier? Anyway, back to stuff that actually happens. Vinyl makes a bunch of jokes of Octavia's expense. And she leaves the room, and for plot contrivance, Octavia doesn't turn the mic off properly, and Octavia and Spitfire are like,
Hey, what's so bad about Vinyl? Everything. Well, yeah, but besides that.
Then Spitfire tells this long, dramatic, heartwarming story about Vinyl that can be summed up as such.
She's completely horrible! No, she's not. Oh, okay.
But it turns out Vinyl heard the whole thing, but it's okay because now Octavia and Vinyl become friends, and shipping justification for the two was born. Vinyl is all the the Times saying things like,
"Wow, Blue Blood sucks, right? He's the worst."
and the whole time the prince is like,
Ooh, how dare she! I'm not the worst at all! I'm so mad I can make Vinyl feel like a total jerk all next season. Over it. But instead, I'll just screw around with her friend's band a bit.
so then Octavia and her band,
Ensemble.
whatever. They're playing Blue Blood Theater. Blue Blood cancels the show, and Blue Blood's like,
That'll teach you for insulting my aunt and I.
But Vinyl did that, not me.
Yes, but I'm petty and don't care.
so then Octavia hears about this and she cries, and Vinyl calls Prince Blue Blood up on the phone and says,
"You're a jerk and no pony likes you. I'm gonna throw my own concert, which will be way better than yours. By the way, what are you even gonna do for the ponies who already bought tickets to the show?"
Oh, we'll just replace it with Lyra's One Pony musical.
Humans all around, no need to waste them. You can have hands, why not take them? You're gonna make it after all.
So then Vinyl throws a concert together in one evening that thousands of ponies attend. So the prince doesn't like that, so he throws together a brilliant plan. First, he subdues the sousaphone player Beauty Brass with a cunning trick.
Hey! There's free candy in that bathroom! Yes! That is totally a thing that is happening. Get some!
Then he locked her in the bathroom. Did I mention he's supposed to be a prince? Just throwing that out there. So then he huckles the whole concert from the back.
Boo! Hiss! Free bird!
He then tries to hold Beauty Brass for ransom while on stage, which is a very intelligent thing when you're in front of a crowd of ponies who hate you. Thankfully, instead of being horribly beaten to death with glow sticks, Blue Blood gets off with just being punched by a girl.
Ding.
When Octavia's band finds Beauty Brass in the bathroom, and everything was fine.
You know, I'm starting to think there wasn't any candy in there at all.
And then Blue Blood swears revenge. But no pony cares, since it's not like he has any halfway sympathetic motivation or anything.
Just you wait till next season. I'll be back!
And then
Whoa,
Octavia's
surprise!
band plays, and Octavia and Vinyl finally kiss.
Yay, I like this story.
That's about it.
Wait, that's not all that happened. You skipped all the serious parts.
Yeah, and you forgot to include the because glowing joke.
That was because that joke was stupid to start with.
Why do you say that?
Because you're the one who thought of it.
Now, let's be serious for a minute. This was just a silly recap and not an accurate representation of everything that happens. If you haven't heard the Vinyl Scratch tapes yet, I urge you to watch the actual show, since it is a touch more serious and a lot funnier than we made it out to be here. But anyway, thank you for listening to our silly little abridged series rip-off, and we'll see you all in Season 2.
What happens in Season 2?
You and I stop a zombie apocalypse.
Really?
No, not really, not at all. But I like my idea better.
Wow, that was awesome. I helped put this together, and I'm like, no, that was great. One more hand for these guys. How awesome was that?
I don't think Lyra's very amused.
And certainly he couldn't be here, but none of this would have happened without the amazing writings of Corey W. Williams, who wrote that. So, oh, but that's not all. We've got more for you guys.
Oh, goody.
This next bit, it might have a little surprise for you guys, and we might need a volunteer.
This guy.
Let me tell you what you're getting into first before this goes.
I don't care. I don't care what I'm getting into.
We have a character that we have not cast yet for Season 2. This character is the great and powerful Trixie. So that's why
I'm staying here.
so if there's particularly a lady out there that would like to come up and try their hand at doing some voice work. I see you. I think just have you done any voice acting before?
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
I stole it. Bubba stole it.
Sorry.
Not me.
We only have one script, so you have to bear with us. It's going to be a little awkward turtle, but we can do it.
Okay.
It's going to be super awkward. It's going to be spaghetti.
So, yeah, so come over and join us over here.
I insist.
Blue blood being a gentleman.
Big Trixie of a rarity?
Real fast, I want to give a quick prelude to what this is. My birthday was in July, and when Corey found out, he wrote this short for me, and it makes me really happy.
Alright, so we're going to move into this, and this is called Storytime with Spitfire.
Today's episode of the Vinyl Scratch will not be heard today due to Vinyl and Octavia taking a much-deserved vacation, and Trixie and Blue Blood on a Monster Island.
Why did we go here?
Because the cruise tickets were half off!
Gee, I wonder why!
Stand back. I shall use my cunning wizardry to send this monster back from whence it came. Oh God! I'm so great and powerful!
Dear, this looks bad.
No, Blue Blood, I won't let you do it!
Pardon?
No, you can't sacrifice yourself to save us!
I didn't offer to do that.
Oh, Blue Blood, we will never forget your noble sacrifice. We'll make sure we keep a statue after you, if, you know, I remember to mention it when we get home.
You heard me properly.
It's funny because they're probably dead. Anyway, the Vinyl Scratch will instead be replaced with Storytime with Spitfire.
Hi, I'm Spitfire of the Wonderbolts, and I'm doing this without really being clear if Vinyl intends to pay me or not. Oh well. So Vinyl told me to just tell a story for a bit to pad out the time. I don't think she wrote a script or anything. Who am I kidding? Of course she didn't write a script. So anyway, here goes. So this one time, Vinyl and I were playing in the field around sunset on a chilly winter day, trying to stay out of trouble. Since this was Vinyl, that lasted maybe about a minute and a half. So she has this bright idea to pretend to be super spies. I remember asking exactly what super spies were, and Vinyl just said, you know, they're like spies, but super. Well, so I asked exactly what made them super. Vinyl said, well, you know, they have like gadgets and stuff. I said we didn't have any gadgets, and Vinyl said, okay, stop ruining my happiness, we'll find gadgets. So then Vinyl leaves to go to her house, and she rummages through the garage, and she pulls out something she called spy rope. I told her that A, I didn't think that was a thing, and B, that it was just a strand of dental floss. So Vinyl said, you just don't have the imagination, Spitfire. You have to imagine things. So Vinyl digs some more things out of her garage. She found a spy laser, aka a toothbrush with no bristles, a spy lockpick, which was really a paperclip, and a wooden stick, which Vinyl called a spy hidden thing stick. I don't think Vinyl really knew anything about actually being a spy. So when night fell, Vinyl was all like, we have to go on a mission to save all the baby chicks from that fortress. And the fortress turned out to be the school at night. Going to school at night, by the way, is very illegal. The door was locked. Vinyl was like, Agent Spitfire von Honey Pants, use this paperclip to open the door! So I stuck the paperclip in it and it broke. I Vinyl screams, "Oh, you're the worst super spy ever!" And I say, "Well, this is my first time. You can't just expect me to be like the best spy ever the first time." And Vinyl says, "Yes, you can!" And then Vinyl got through the door in the most stealthy manner possible. She had butted it down. She seemed a bit dizzy afterwards, and I said, "Vinyl, are you okay?" And she said, "Oh, yes, I would like 2 scoops of ice cream with rainbow sprinkles." So I shake her a bit, and Vinyl comes to and says, oh, yeah, we have to save the baby penguins." And I said, "I thought they were baby chicks." And Vinyl said, "I did? Oh, no, they can be both." So we're trespassing. And Vinyl just points at a random room and says, "The baby chicks and/or penguins are in there." When I asked how she knew that, she just winked and said, "Super spy." And I said, that doesn't exactly answer my question, Vinyl. Vinyl ignored me dramatically and said, "I shall go in through the vents." Would you believe that this actually wouldn't have been the first time Vinyl crawled through the air vents? Well, you probably do if you know Vinyl. So she crawls in through the vents. Since this is winter, most places tend to have heat on. So, of course, neither of us thought about this. So after about a minute of being in there, the heater kicks on and Vinyl's like, and I'm like, "I can't!" And she says, "Why?" And I say, "Because it's dental floss!" So Vinyl struggled through the vent so much, she manages to puncture a hole in it and fall inside the classroom on a desk. She's mostly fine, aside from it causes so much of a commotion that somebody nearby calls the police. So then the police show up, and Vinyl, being, well, Vinyl, she doesn't get how serious this is right away. She just says, "Spitfire! Let forth the spy hitting things stick!" Hit things. But by this point, I'm so nervous, I'm just kind of in the corner. About 15 minutes later, we're both in the police station, and they call our parents. Considering the amount of property damage that occurred, we both knew we were in trouble. I'm just sulking, knowing I'm going to get in major trouble again. Vinyl doesn't say anything. So when our parents get there and we have to explain everything, before I can say a word, Vinyl opens her mouth and says, "It was all my idea. I drove Spitfire along with me. She tried to stop me." Which isn't really true. I didn't try to stop her at all, but she told everyone I did. So Vinyl got grounded for like a month, and I didn't get in trouble at all. Whenever I tried to fess up, Vinyl just interrupted me. Later on, I asked, "Why'd you do that?" And Vinyl just sort of looks at me very serious for a minute. I swear she's going to say something profound. But then she smiles and says, "Super spy." And that's all I could really get out of her. And again, I suppose I never really needed an explanation. I already knew why. I'm not really sure if that story has a moral or anything. I don't think it really needs a moral. Not really. It's just memories. Fond memories that will last a lifetime. No matter how it affects my police record.
This has been Story Time with Spitfire. Now let's check back with our friends on Monster Island.
I have to share the stage directions. It says DJ Pony is riding a dinosaur. So just picture that.
Ponies are dinosaurs.
Oh, be careful up there! If you don't hang on, you might die! Actually, on second thought, don't be careful! Don't be careful at all!
Tune in next time for another episode of The Vinyl Scratch Tapes.
Thanks, everybody. I want to say a big round of applause for Cora. She did great on that. All right. Well, to kind of wrap this up, we're actually going to do a fun little thing. We're actually going to take our characters and their voice actors and swap them. I will say, we've got the script for all 4 episodes of Season 1. And so, if there is a specific scene that somebody would like to see some characters swapped, raise your hand.
The stage scene.
Oh, what's that?
Kicking Blue Bud's butt.
Which part of the stage scene? Kicking Blue Bud's butt?
Yeah, the very last part. Climax.
Alright, searching.
Okay.
Searching.
Loading. Stupid Mass Effect elevator technology.
Just only 5 seconds. I mean, 5 hours. I mean, 2 weeks.
We just don't know what went wrong.
It's loading. It's 100%. So we just got 0% loading. You guys, everybody all right so far?
Yes.
Do I need to speak into the Twilight Spark?
20%.
Go all the way up to half.
Rare sight.
See, we like really planned hard for the first part to look professional, but this was like the rest of the time.
Yes. Yeah.
This is part of the final plan.
So who's who? Alright, yeah, so okay.
The person who picked the scene, was it, did you want to see anybody swapped in particular, or?
Do it random.
Okay.
Flip the coin.
We want to fight DJ Shamrock to be worthy of the main quest.
So, I heard DJ Shamrock for Vinyl. What other characters do we have in that scene?
We have Vinyl, Octavia, and Blue Blood. That's it.
Alright, so
Octavia.
Alright, so we get
Blue Blood.
I want Octavia for Blue Blood, and then who do you want to play Octavia?
Final.
Okay.
Alright. Okay. So just so you guys know, it goes like this. No, you just do it.
No, I know,
And
but why?
this is gonna be weird. Here we go.
This last one?
That was only one phase of my plan to increase agitation in the... This is really small and very light. And the civil-minded crowd with heroic taunting. This is confusing.
Also, great idea insulting the crowd when they're all listening right now.
I wouldn't worry about that. My research indicates the average lower middle class earth pony has an attention span of about 3 minutes, much like goldfish.
Jesus.
Tiny script on the paper.
Okay, Mastermind, what's the rest of your...
Use your beard. Beard glasses. Beard to beard.
Okay, Mastermind, what's the rest of your plan? Have us arrested?
No, actually. Nothing would make me happier than to have you both jailed without trial and sent to the spice mines for a few decades. But Auntie said I'm not allowed to do that. Never get anything I want.
Good to see Celestia still has a good head on her shoulders.
So instead, I did the next best thing. Made it impossible for your concert to go on at all. And on top of that, put an end to this experiment called radio.
What are you talking about? You haven't done anything like that.
Haven't I? I guess it hasn't occurred to you where your sousaphone player is right now.
What? You know where Beauty Grass is?
What? You're serious? You did that?
Ha! So now you're interested in what I have to say? Perhaps I know... Oh, I'm popping. Perhaps I know where she is, and perhaps not. You can refresh my memory, if you play your cards correctly.
What did you do to her, Blue Blood? I'm not asking you again.
Yeah, this is not funny.
You think it's hilarious?
No, it isn't. Do you see the results of your actions now, Vinyl Scratch? Do you see that your insanity drives me to do this? What your insanity drives me to do for the sake of justice? Don't worry, your marching band reject is safe. We're just out of the way.
Tell me where she is, Blue Blood. Oh, that's
I intend to, for a price.
I'm also flying. You're holding her ransom in front of every pony? You really are vile.
If a prince does it, it can't possibly be a crime. But I'm not a bad guy. I just want things back to normal. I have very simple terms. I'll show you where she is, and in exchange, this concert is over. And the deed to Capecoat is signed over to me. What? Those are the terms. What will you do?
It says the entire audience boos.
You fuck!
I don't care anymore. I'll still get what I want. So, Miss Octavia, Miss Final Scratch, what will you do? Tell me, Final Scratch, how does it feel to be the one-minute speechless for once? Time's up. What are you going to do?
I've got a better deal.
Oh, and look at that.
Different than Octavius. So everybody knows what's going on with that is, I want to burn off all the scripts. That's a lot of pages. It's 4 pages on 1 page. Apparently, it's not a great.
Not a good idea. Can't read anything.
Save the trees. Save Fluttershy. Save the trees. Yes!
I'm so confused. Okay. We all have that. Okay. That's a much better idea.
We just came up with a good idea.
Okay. So we're going to try the pony swap again, but instead we're going to do the abridged series that you heard at the beginning of our panel, and we're going to switch characters again.
Because it's a lot more legible.
It's
We
easier.
all have individual copies.
So, how are we going to...
Hey, Tommy, the announcer.
Okay, who would you like to play the narrator?
Lyra's
our narrator.
Lyra.
Who would like to play DJ Pony?
Lyra!
Hands up. Who would you like to play DJ Pony?
Alright, so I'm saying that first.
Blue Blood.
Who would you like to play Octavia?
Blue Blood. Narrator. The narrator is Blue Blood narrator.
And who would you like to play Spitfire and... Final. Spitfire. Yes, Spitfire.
Alright, so, let's go up. Next one is Spitfire.
Octavia.
Keep. Final Scratch. Alright.
So I'm just the narrator and nobody else, right? Nobody wanted Spitfire or Beauty Grass to read anything.
We have Beauty Grass. We have Spitfire and Beauty Grass. Or do you want me to play?
Lyra.
You're Spitfire, and then the last one is Beauty Grass.
Okay.
Alright, hands up. Who do we want to play?
Lyra. Lyra.
Lyra's already playing.
I already played Beauty Grass.
Spitfire.
I already
Who do you want to play Beauty Grass? Yeah, you. Blue Blood.
Blue Blood's already Participation. Doctor Who.
We have to share my
Make the DJ do it.
Can you
How about the great and powerful
guys
Trixie?
like get all in Vicky's face?
Yeah.
It's okay, I'm not even saying anything until like the very end. Okay. Oh wait, we have a live one.
Egg is the
Okay.
Oh,
What follows is an abridged version of the first season of the Vinyl Scratch tapes. So there's this pony, her name is Vinyl Scratch, or DJ Pony, whatever. And they invent something called radio. It's just like radio in real life, except it's magic and there's ponies just going. So Vinyl Scratch is a DJ, so she's like,
Hells yeah! Time to capitalize on this.
so she has a radio station and she starts up this talk show called the Vinyl Scratch. She kind of has a big ego.
Hey, that's not very nice.
But it's true.
Alright.
But she needs a co-host to help her. Since it's a rock station, for some reason she gets a co-host named Octavia, who's a classical musician and knows nothing about rock and roll. The reasons for this aren't really made clear, but it's halfway implied that Vinyl just picked some pony at random and kept Octavia around because they have a nice banter. And Octavia was like,
I have no idea why I'm here.
perfect lines.
Hey!
The beard helps.
I mean, I'm sure you'll be a good addition to the team. Because you're hot.
that's what he meant the gist of their relationship for a while. Then she introduced Princess Celestia. She's like a sun god, except she's a princess and a pony and a unicorn and a pegasus. All those good things in one, like trail mix, but magical. She once sent her sister to the moon because she was evil. But then her sister turned good again because she was laser beamed with a rainbow by 6 other ponies who had the power of the gods because of friendship. But that's a whole other story. Anywho, Vinyl has the princess on and it's like,
Hey, remember that time you put your sister in space? Not cool.
Stop telling the princess that stuff, Vinyl. I'd rather not.
Because justice and ratings.
Vinyl has a point, so she lets that one go without resorting to extraterrestrial exile. Getting extracurricular exile. Meanwhile, the prince is listening to the radio and he's like, who's blue blood?
Hey, that's my auntie. She can send anybody into space she feels like. That's what it means to be royalty. No pony talks about my auntie that way.
You don't actually find out he feels that way until later, so try to act surprised when we actually get to that part.
Hey, I have more stuff to say. I'm sick of being
Blue blood! Anyway, back to important characters. Octavia thinks Vinyl is under the mistaken impression that Vinyl is a complete jerk, simply because she acts like a complete jerk. It's a simple mistake, really. So then Vinyl interviews her best friend Spitfire.
Hi, I'm Spitfire. I used to be an accessory to Vinyl's rampant petty crimes as a child.
You're a terrible role model.
Hey, being a criminal and a musician just makes you more popular. You should try it sometime. You and I need to do some crimes.
This line of dialogue did not actually occur. If it did, there probably would have been a plot about Vinyl and Octavia doing crimes. Oh, crap, why didn't I think of that earlier?
Dead plot.
Anyway, that's just stuff that actually happens. Vinyl makes a bunch of jokes at Octavia's expense, and then she leaves the room and for plot contrivances, Octavia doesn't turn the mic off properly, and Octavia and Spitfire are like,
Hey, what's so bad about Vinyl?
Everything.
Oh yeah, but besides that.
then Spitfire tells this long, dramatic, heartwarming story that's the best part of the entire series about Vinyl. That can be summed up as such.
She's completely horrible.
No, she's not.
Okay.
But it turns out Vinyl heard the whole thing, but it's okay because now Octavia and Vinyl become friends, and shipping justification for the two was born!
Yay!
And while this is going on, Vinyl is all the time saying things like,
Wow, blue blood sucks.
Good one on count. Over 9,000.
this
Get to the part where you kiss.
Yes.
He goes there.
We're gonna skip ahead, so, wow, I was still talking as Lyra.
Yeah,
We're gonna skip ahead so she can go beauty grasp real fast, because we don't have enough time left. So then, Vinyl throws a concert together in one evening, and thousands of ponies attend. So the prince doesn't like that, so he throws together a brilliant plan. First, he subdues the sousaphone player beauty grasp with a cunning trick.
Hey, there's candy in that bathroom!
Really?
Yes, that's totally a thing that's happening! You should run in there and get some!
Yay, candy! Did I mention he's supposed to be a prince? Just throwing that out there. So he handles the whole concert from the bathroom.
Boo! Hiss! Freebird!
He then tries to hold beauty grasp for ransom while on stage, which is a very intelligent thing to do when you're in front of a crowd of ponies who hate you. Thankfully, instead of being horribly beaten to death with a glow stick, Blue Light gets off with just being punched by a girl.
So you can.
And then Octavia's band finds beauty grasp in the bathroom and everything was fine.
You know, I'm starting to think there might not have been candy in there at all!
We will be at our table over in the corner if you go out into the artist land. You can ask some questions there, or please feel free to stop by the Midnight Magic Production panel later on today. We'll be happy to answer some of your questions then.
Beer rugs are being held. Beer rugs.
Yes. I will be out. We'll be somewhere. My glorious